clue you in on a neat trick, and it's not a trick. The only trick is that you still have to have one of those old-time gigantic tube television sets, and it needs to be sufficiently big enough. Now, if you still have one of those big old, not an LCD, no flat screen, no plasma, can't be those. Has to be a genuine gun in the back of that. You know, the old tube TV sets. They're not that old. I've still got a couple of them in the back room. The only reason I have them is they're too heavy to move. I'm going to show you a neat thing. Everything in the world works off of the right-hand rule, and I showed you actually how quote-unquote anti-gravity works. Now, here's a fact that I'm not a gambling person, and but I'll tell you one thing that I would gamble my life on. All my studies in magnetism, you can look me right in the damn eye right now, and I'll tell you that what we call gravity does not exist. Well, you drop stuff, you fall. I mean, of course, gravity exists. The principle, the cause and effect of what we call gravity exists. That's not what I'm referring to. As an autonomous field modality, there is no such thing as gravity. What the hell does that mean? That which you call magnetic attraction, which is technically a dielectric acceleration, is absolutely no different than gravity. The only difference is the attribute which defines one from the other. It's like, well, I can take two small magnets. They will jump together towards each other very, very quickly. Yes. And tell me what defines a magnet. And nobody knows the answer to this, really. I mean, people know what a magnet is in their brain, but they have no idea how a magnet works. And the answer is field coherency. Like this little neodymium, for example, before it was turned into a magnet, is just a lump, a lump of neodymium iron boron that is coated in nickel plating. Doesn't matter if it's samarium cobalt, ferrite, neodymium iron boron, all the same. Once it is magnetized, what defines a magnet in denotation is actually technically a reciprocating precessional hyperboloid, which is my huge discovery about how magnetism works, what defines magnetism, on and on. But what actually defines a magnet in the generic sense, and it is still very specific, is field coherency. The difference between the 5-watt light, and this isn't 5 watts, this is a lot more than 5 watts falling on my ugly face right now, and the laser is field coherency. Now, I have some powerful lasers, okay? A 5-watt laser will burn a hole in your ass. Literally, it will burn a hole in your ass. A 5-watt light bulb is useless as hell to even read a book by. That which defines gravity and magnetic attraction, they're both exactly one and the same field modality. It's dielectric acceleration. The only difference is that gravity is incoherent, and magnetism, as far as acceleration, is coherent. I've already defined polarity, and when the 4th edition of my book comes out, it'll have tons and tons of stuff. I'll have to eventually come up with 6 editions of the book. But I have a really neat trick for you. Since everything works off the right-hand rule, including gravity, and gravity is only incoherent dielectric acceleration, the right-hand rule also applies. In applying a charge, you only need one thing, a little magnet. Can't be a big one, because if it's a big one, it's really heavy and you can't feel it. You turn on the TV set, okay, turn it on to a channel of static, okay? This works. This is a neat trick I've taught people. And if you want an example of anti-gravity, true anti-gravity in the generic sense, take a little magnet like this, or even smaller, a little wafer magnet. Hold it on your finger so you're able to balance it on your finger. Put it right up against the TV set. It has to be not a plasma or not an LCD, but an old-time big-ass tube TV set. And drop the magnet just as close as you can get to the face of the TV. Drop it very slowly, and you'll actually feel deceleration. You'll actually feel the magnet getting lighter. As you accelerate, it will feel as if the weight of the magnet lifts off of your finger. It will not technically lift off of your finger, but it will feel very close. How this works is the dielectric charge that is actually being shot out of the gun of the back of the old-time traditional TV sets reaches the surface, and much of that dielectric charge, as you can feel it on an old TV set, the electrostatic charge that is on the front of the TV set. Okay, if you're like 30 years old, you know what the hell I'm talking about. If you're some young punk, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You feel that charge in a TV set when you first turn it on, but turn it on to a static channel, you know, Not, don't turn on Tom and Jerry or CNN, okay, for Christ's sakes. Turn on a static channel where a static channel has all this fuzz and it's shooting out more dielectric capacitance, okay? And it builds up on the front of the surface of that TV. Put the magnet on the tip of your finger and start dropping it in front of the face of the TV set, and you'll feel that magnet to get lighter. That's not a trick. That is genuine anti-gravity. But what we call gravity does not exist. What we call gravity, if like aliens from another galaxy, and no, I'm not an alien person, okay? If aliens from another galaxy landed on Earth, it'd be like, what the hell are you stupid humans, talking about gravity versus magnetism? Gravity and magnetic attraction are the same thing, you stupid dumbass humans. I mean, that's exactly what they would say. I'm the first person that discovered this, and there's nobody, if anybody wants to debate me on this fact, let's debate it. I'll crush you in a debate on that topic. I don't care what math you bring to the table, Maxwellian field equations. I know the works of Nikola Tesla, Charles Proteus Steinmetz, Oliver Heaviside. Bring it on. Steinmetz, Heaviside, James Clerk Maxwell, Nikola Tesla, Eric P. Dollar, the rest of them. I know all their works. So let's have a discussion about field theory, why don't we? This is essentially the same thing that Oliver Heaviside said. It was basically a postscript about the refutation of Einsteinian relativity. The notion that gravity is curved space. I mean, Nikola Tesla even said that this was, harebrained madness. This is also the reason why Nikola Tesla called Einstein a fool and a beggar dressed in the purple robes of an emperor. He said that space has absolutely no properties, and Tesla's right. Space is not anything that has properties. Space has no properties at all. It's a posterior attributional effect of divergence. But anyway, here's a neat little trick. If you got a little magnet, try it out. It can't be too heavy, because if it's too heavy, you won't feel it. It needs to be light enough, about this weight or a little bit less. So if you want to try something and feel what genuine, and this is the application of how it works, as the electrostatic charge gets drawn to and actually accelerates at the plane of dielectric, the dielectric inertia plane. Excuse me, too much coffee today. The dielectric inertia plane of the magnet, and that causes the right-hand rule of acceleration, the electrostatic charge applied to 90 degrees to the point of acceleration as you're actually dropping the magnet towards the earth very slowly on the tip of your finger. It actually changes the parameter, because remember, all weight, as I've stated before in prior videos, is location-specific, medium-specific, and vector-specific. It's one more thing too, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But weight, location-specific, and vector-specific. And charge application, 90 degrees to the point of acceleration along a plane of inertia of a field that is already coherent, actually changes the rate of acceleration of an object as it falls towards the earth, or as you're slowly dropping it towards the earth. Okay? So try that, and you'll see that it works. Okay? Don't have to take my word for it. Try it. It works. As a neat trick that you've seen here first, and only here, and give it a try, okay? But you have to have a big-ass old TV set, okay? Maybe Grandma still has one. If you can't find one, go find one somewhere.